Hi, I'm Amy Eisenstein. Welcome to Ask the Fundraising Expert, the place for simple, easy to understand fundraising advice and inspiration so you can raise significantly more money for the cause you love. Let's get started. Today's question comes from Melissa. Melissa asks, where do you start with a board that hasn't ever participated in fundraising? What expectations do you set, and how do you hold them accountable? Great question, Melissa. I actually have experience with this one, not just as a consultant, but from when I was a development director. The last full-time fundraising job I held before becoming a consultant was with an organization whose board was recruited specifically without any expectation of fundraising. In that case, the founder of the organization thought he would personally finance the organization, so he recruited board members with an expectation of no fundraising. However, a few short years later, the organization had grown so much that he was no longer able to personally finance the budget. So they realized they would need to raise funds if they were going to continue on their trajectory, which is when they hired their first development director, me. I had the great opportunity not only of creating a development office from scratch, but of working with board members who had never had to raise funds before. Based on my experience at this organization and my work as a consultant, some of the expectations I have of board members include governance and financial oversight, attendance and participation at meetings, participation on a subcommittee, a personal gift to the organization, help with fundraising, and advocacy. I will tell you, based on that experience and many others I've had as a consultant, there are two types of board members who emerge when a board needs to transition from a non-fundraising board to a fundraising board. The first type understands that in order for the organization to grow, funds must be raised. They may not necessarily want to help with the fundraising, but they understand that that's the new direction the organization must take. The second type really doesn't understand this, or at least feels that the organization should just muddle along, doing what it has always done because what's been good enough is good enough. No change necessary. So, depending on what type of board members you're working with, I'm guessing you have some of each. I have two questions. I would start by asking the entire group the simple question: do we want this organization to grow, or do we want to stay where we are or even shrink? Assuming that they decide to grow, you will want to have the conversation about how to grow. At this point, the board members who don't agree with the new direction, because there will be some holdouts, can resign from the board. This may be painful for all involved, but it's a necessary step for progress of the organization, and you'll be better off in the long run. The next part of Melissa's question was about holding board members accountable. Remember, it's important to recruit board members properly in the first place, with the expectation that they will give and help with fundraising. So moving forward, recruit all new board members with appropriate expectations. And I recommend using a board member expectation form to hold board members accountable. A sample form can be found through a link below this video or on my website. I hope that answers your question, Melissa. Now it's your turn to share. I hope you'll join the discussion and help others by leaving a comment below. Did this video inspire you to try something new? Do you have an example or story to share? Do you agree or disagree with today's advice? If so, please let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to share it with your friends and followers. Finally, if you want to learn even more ways to supercharge your fundraising, visit my website, trypointfundraising.com. Join my list, and as a thank you, you'll get 2 of my most popular ebooks for free. That's the end of today's episode. but I hope you're feeling inspired and empowered. Thanks so much for doing your part to make the world a better place. I hope to see you next time on Ask the Fundraising Expert.